Good morning, everyone. It's Michelle Descavage, author of Unnamed Woman of the Bible, speaker, and certified life purpose coach. And I have just had a battle with this cup of coffee, and I kind of lost. It's very sad. Look, I'm bigger than this cup of coffee. You would think I could conquer it. But no, when I first ordered it, I went to pick it up from the cup holder, and the lid popped off. And then some spilled. And I thought, okay, that's all right. I can deal with that. So when I finally got to where I was going, stopped the car, set the cup out of the way so I could start cleaning up, and proceeded to knock it over. Caught it very quickly, so not too much spilled on the passenger seat. I'm glad no one's with me today. They would have gotten coffee spilled on them. So yes, so I have just lost a battle with a cup of coffee, but happy Thursday. That's okay, because at least I didn't spill any on me, right? Just in the car, and that was a pretty easy cleanup. So I guess I should be thankful for that. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about depression and anxiety, how it has affected my family, and just some little insights that I have learned. And not that I have all the answers, not that I am a real knowledgeable person on this, but I do have personal experience, so our testimonies do speak volumes, right? But my husband has struggled with depression and anxiety really a vast majority of his life. It has gone untreated. It's something he dealt with, struggled with, but really never spoke a lot about it. Well, year 12 of our marriage, things kind of came to a head, and I was done in many ways, but over the course of those 12 years of marriage and having a child, I was exhausted. I was angry, and I kind of wondered why I never got to have a bad day, because he would have these bad days, and it wasn't every single day, but it would just come in waves, and I called it the black cloud. Like, I could see the black cloud coming, like a storm rolling in, and I knew it was coming, so there were certain things that I did to cope, but I kind of would just be angry. Like, why can't you just deal with life and get on with it? Because I don't have that struggle. That is not a battle I have had to face personally. And yes, there are moments that I have gotten upset, things like that, but just the clench, the depression seems to have on a person, I have not experienced that. So in my mind, I thought, think better thoughts, take better actions, and get over it. And man up. I mean, that was honestly how I felt. So I had a lot of anger and frustrations because I felt like I always had to be on, especially when we had our child. And why couldn't I have a bad day? Why couldn't I separate myself and be okay and let someone else deal with all the responsibilities? So I felt very alone, sometimes like a single parent, and just had a lot of anger towards him, to be quite honest. And one of the greatest things that happened was I had gone to a friend's house and I was griping about my husband. I was just complaining is what I was doing. And she looked at me and said, I can't really talk to you about what he's doing and what he's saying and how he's behaving, but we can discuss your attitude, what you were saying, and what you were doing. And that was a moment that I hated and loved at the same time, because she would not focus on him. She would not go down that road, which I appreciate, but she was going to focus on some things that I was not serving my family well in, that I was not serving my husband in. And so that was kind of a game changer for me. But 2 years ago, he ended up in the hospital, and just kind of a collision of events had happened, and that's the first time that he has spoken to a doctor about the depression and anxiety. So years of his life, probably 20 years or more, and just in that moment when he was in the hospital did he finally address it. And I had kind of spoken to the doctors and said, talk to him about these things, because I thought this is the only way it's going to happen, and I'm done. Because honestly, if I had had the resources, there were times that I probably would have walked out the door, knowing that that's not what God would want, knowing that that would have damaging effects on my family and so many things that were bigger than that moment. And so I thank God for that fact that that avenue was never made possible for me. But he is getting the treatment that he needs, that is right for him. And there are different avenues to take. You have to choose the one that's right for you. But the attitude of our entire house changed. The entire atmosphere has changed. And does he still have bad days? Some, but it's not as drastic as it was before. And when he started getting treatment, and just there was such a difference in how he would cope with different situations, and I was so thankful. But I still had that anger that I had to deal with. So I told him, I said, this is what it's been like for me as you have struggled with this, because it's not just about you. Nothing we experience is just about us, right? There are always other people involved, and always other people affected by our decisions. And I told him, I said, I have to deal with this anger. So there are going to be some days that I just need to be angry with you. I'm sorry, but we have 12 years of dealing with this, and I'm glad that a new story is being written, that God has been gracious in that way, but I'm going to have to deal with some stuff. And so I'm thankful that we have been on this journey, that God has begun to write a new story and really change the trajectory for my husband, but as well for my daughter and for myself. I mean, what a blessing that is. But there are so many people who struggle with depression, with anxiety, and I wish I could change that for you. You have to seek out help. No one can do that for you. And you have to determine the right course of action for you to treat that and to deal with that, to cope with that, to still be a part of life, basically. And your family will need to be able to deal with that as well, and you have to be able to receive that. But on my blog this week at sparkedliving.net/blog, you can read more of our story. I would love for you guys to share your own story. There are already some people who have commented that have just been a blessing, and I've received messages of thank you, and some people who are choosing to get help, and just how freeing it was for someone to be open about their story. And really, I asked my husband, can I share this? And he said it's too important not to. So I'm so thankful that he's at a place that it's okay to share now, and in the effort and with the desire to see other people set free from it. And that truly is the reason why we share these things. And that's the power of our own stories, is to set other people free, to let them know they are not alone, and to give them hope. So with that, I have another appointment to get into that I'm about to be late for. Whoops. So may your coffee remain in the cup and not a drop be spilled. And whatever help you are needing in this life to live God's best for you, I pray you go out and get it. Have a wonderful Thursday.